We lived in New York City for 13 years, and after we looked at buying a house outside of New York City, and I had stalked this house online for 3 years. I was obsessed with it. We finally came to look at the house, and we walked in the front door and knew that it was the one. This house was built between 1802 and 1850 and has had several illustrious owners and visitors, from a famous horse breeder who sold to the Vanderbilts to the costume designer for the Ed Sullivan Show. We do the majority of the work ourselves. We save on labor and we splurge on beautiful products. This is the dining room, and we think this was the library before, but we're not 100% sure because it fits a table so beautifully.
It does, and I'm really remarking on this amazing wall color that you chose. So you went dark here.
We did, because we have 5 windows in this space. We have a bank of 3, and then we have these 2 big windows here. We thought, why not be dramatic and go a little darker?
And I'm amazed by how much you've accomplished. It looks amazing.
To us, it's about 40% done.
40%?
40%
That's not even
done.
half. So what would you do, in a nutshell, that you haven't already done to make it like 100%?
Really done.
I mean, I know a true DIY homeowner is never always done. I don't mean to say that, but like, what would get us to 90?
Well, I think that when we moved in, we just moved in, and like, this is our dining room table from New York City.
Right.
I would choose a different table. I'd choose different chairs.
Sure.
This room needs a ceiling medallion added back. These bookshelves, I think back in the 1800s, 1900s, were fantastic.
I kind of love, are you going to get rid of them?
No, we're just going to make them a little bit more functional for us. We want to add doors to them so that we can put stuff behind them. You know, we're artists, so our books are big. We love art books. And they don't really fit on these little shelves.
It's too narrow.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like for objet kind of things, and you'd love to actually be able to stack and put juicy design books in there, right?
Exactly. Or maybe we have a bigger bookshelf for the juicy design books, and this is more pretties.
Right.
So yeah, we do have work to do, but it's stuff that we can do over time and as we.
Am I correct in saying this is down on the list? Because you have so much here to tackle, and you have tackled so much. It must be hard to know, like forest trees, like what do we obsess about first?
It's always give and take, you know. By putting doors on these cabinets, we can cut down on the dusting, which that would be fantastic for me. So
that's a big priority on your list. Wow, look at all this great seating space.
This room is a big challenge for us because it's so big that you don't really know
how to break it up.
Yeah, and how to have an intimate conversation and how
I love what you did.
Actually going to use it. So we have our main seating area here, and then the back, of course, with the fabulous carpet and a little dining area here.
This is so smart because, you know, a lot of people would look at this room and think, oh my gosh, there's this amazing fireplace here. We must make that the focus point, and that can sometimes throw off the rest of the balance of the room. And you guys kind of pulled it this way a little bit and made the focus about conversation here.
Yes.
But you still have that area over there. This is kind of ingenious. Nice work.
Thank you. Thank you. We're not interior designers, so it's always a struggle for us when we have to try things out and see if it works.
Make mistakes.
Make mistakes.
As interior designers do, also.
Exactly.
And as beautiful as this room looks now, you should have seen it when we walked in. It was canary yellow. The ceiling was falling down.
Wait, what do you mean by falling down? Like literally?
Well, cracked and, well...
Scary.
A little scary, yeah.
And so how do you get the courage to say, we're taking this on, we can sort of, do you even know what it was going to become when you saw it? You weren't intimidated?
Thankfully, no, we didn't know what it was going to take to do it. Because
they always say that's a very key
yes.
component of a success in a renovation is ignorance.
Exactly. That's completely us.
So if the ceiling was falling down, how did you get that amazing medallion and that lighting fixture there? That obviously was not here.
This was actually terrifying. This came in like 10 pizza-sized boxes.
What, the lighting fixture or the medallion?
The medallion. So we very gingerly put it up in place, taped it, screwed it, got it all right, and then secured it up.
Okay, I just want to go back to that day. Were you guys by yourselves and was anyone documenting this? Why weren't we here for this? Was there any fighting going on or drama? Like, how do you stay calm and,
Well, we work together, so we have to work well together.
That's true. As
important.
photographers, you mean?
Yes. We work as a team. So we have to work well together, and I think that's helped this renovation. We always talk about things before we start a project.
Which is the better trait in a renovation? Fearlessness or caution?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Because in decorating,
fearless.
Yeah, I was going to say, who is glass is half empty and who is glass is half full person? Who's
half full?
She's definitely fearless.
She's the optimist.
And then asked me to do it.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know.
So are you constantly saying, I don't think we can do this, and you're kind of pushing him, but then he does it and it works out?
Yeah.
Or more like, okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right, but the point is you do it, and you keep pushing through it, and you finish the job, and a lot of people would give up, and don't you think that's like almost 9 times, most of it is just sticking with it?
Yeah, and I think that whenever we do finish something, we know it might have been a bit of a struggle, but then there's a great sense of pride that comes with it.
The fact that you can say you did it.
You did that. I mean, that's insane.
And nobody knows. Nobody will ever know how much it took
Right.
of yourself to do it.
Right.
But you do, and that has to be enough.
Susan said to get glasses. Oh, thank you. I love this bar.
Yeah, it was
I
really...
mean, I wouldn't even call it a bar. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a cabinet of curiosities for alcohol preparation.
It was really important for us to have a big bar, me personally to have a big bar. We're always entertaining, always running out of glasses. And I wanted to be able to make a drink for somebody and also have them be able to look through and be curious about what was here.
Susan, the Insta-famous bathroom is totally living up to its name. It's just you want to live in here. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, this bathroom is really interesting. It is a complete renovation. The only thing that we kept is this sink.
Which is beautiful.
But the bottom part's original and the tap is new. And we asked for it to be unlacquered brass so that it would age out to match the bottom of the sink.
And what are these wonderful medallions, this little installation here? I love this.
This is by an artist named Ron Nicole, and we met on Instagram, actually. And she makes these beautiful plaster pieces, and I've always been inspired by, like little vignettes of ovals.
Mm-hmm.
And she made this custom installation of 100 pieces just for this bathroom, and it's one of my favorite things in the house.
It really is. I mean, you were saying to me that people literally, when they come here, they almost gather in this bathroom,
Yes.
and I can see why. And don't even get me started about this tiled floor.
Yeah, this tile floor is really beautiful. It's all individually cut pieces, and it was the most popular quilt pattern in 1850.
What?
Yeah.
And it's so modern and fresh here.
Exactly.
And
so it was perfect.
Kudos to you. I'm obsessed with using old Oriental rugs, just little scraps of them in a bathroom. I don't know why people don't do that more because they're so practical.
I love a scrappy rug. We not only renovate rooms, but we also renovated this cabinet. I was looking for a beautiful piece that would include some storage and be a little bit historic for the house. And I found this piece in a barn for $350, and I did vacuum mouse poop out of it. So it has had quite the makeover. On the back of the cabinet, I lined the back with Gracie wallpaper, which is one of my absolute favorite wallpapers. And on the bottom of the cabinet, I lined all of the drawers, and I also painted the parts of the wood that were unfinished. It seemed a little like an afterthought to me. So this green paint is such a nice complement to the Gracie wallpaper. Here is a guest room, and I think in this room I really got the mood right.
Yes, you did.
From a decorating perspective, it took me a while to get to know the personality of the house and then how we were going to fit in our, aesthetic with that, and I got it right here.
It's moody, it's glamorous. And how did you, because I know that you have been on a budget throughout this whole process. A lot of these pieces look super expensive, and I can't tell which was a vintage find and which was like something that you really invested in.
Sure. So we have in this room, like the rest of the house, some splurges and saves. One of the big areas that we saved is that we did the labor ourselves. So we painted the room with some help from friends. My mom helped us make this amazing piece over the bed. She
Wait, you guys, that's a DIY?
Yes.
This is like from Versailles.
Yes.
DIY from Versailles. How did you guys do that?
It's pretty simple. It's a wooden box, and the fabric is stapled to it. It's not terribly complicated to
It
make.
looks like seamstresses worked for hours. I mean, this is incredible. You make it sound so easy, but that gives, I hope, people inspiration and hope that they can do it themselves. Right. And this bed, I bet, this is like gorgeous.
Yes, this is a beautiful bed. One area that I always splurge in is beds, because it's difficult to find a beautiful bed that looks great with vintage. And this has a very vintage feel to it.
Yes, you're right. If you got the bed wrong, this whole room would feel off. It wouldn't work at all.
Yeah.
And question, again, that oriental rug moment that's so worn and just filled with history. I love this on the dark floors.
We stained the floors really, really dark, and while it is a little bit more upkeep, I think it makes the mood of the house more appropriate and de-emphasizes the pine.
Now, will you keep going on that, like for over there? Oh, I will. We were just talking about the floors. Will you guys keep going? Because I love how dark and luscious this looks. Will you keep going over here? And
We're gonna keep going throughout the house, maybe a little bit lighter out in the hallway, but we like the look and the feel of it. And even our dogs love the look and the feel of this room so much because we can't find them. They're on the bed.
They're on the bed.
We looked at this little dressing room and saw that it was a perfect candidate to have wallpaper put into the panels. And I wanted to put something really meaningful, and Gracie came up because they've been in New York City since the late 1800s. It's a family-owned company, and their product is, of course, completely stunning. When we contacted them about this project, I had mentioned that I wanted to do this really dramatic teal in the room, and Jen went to their archives and pulled out this sample that took my breath away and said, I have the perfect thing inspired by the teal. And this is the paper that you see today. This is a modern reproduction that Gracie did, inspired by the vintage sample. I want to show you something really terrifying. It's the third floor, and it represents a lot of how renovations work and how the house was. This is where all the bedrooms were, and there's one bathroom up here that I want to show you because it's a big renovation project. Look at that.
Wow. So this is kind of reflective of what many of the rooms of the rest of the house look like when you bought it?
Yeah, they weren't this bad, but we are going to renovate this just like we renovated the rest of the house.
I have so much respect for you guys. You're unafraid, you're practical, you're passionate, you're thoughtful, all the things that are needed to tackle on something of this size.
It's very gratifying whenever you see something like that turn into something that's completely amazing.
Thank you. Now this kitchen, what you haven't done it, most people would start with the kitchen first to be the total renovation. You guys did all, and you kind of kept this, and I sort of love it. It's like a time capsule.
It is, and one of the reasons why we didn't start with it first is because we wanted to live with it and see what the space felt like, how it functioned. We're avid cooks. Will's an amazing cook, and living in a space is important to us before we start tearing things down.
That's so smart. And have you grown a little bit attached to it the way it is now, or you definitely got rid of it?
I hate it. I hate it. It's going to go as soon as we can make that happen.
Right, because it will be expensive, right? It's all to the ground, kind of start from scratch.
This is one of the only rooms that we're going to gut renovate. The original kitchen's in the basement because the house is from 1800s. The second kitchen was then in the mud room, and then now this is the third kitchen. We're still going to keep this square space, but we have to move some staircases and windows and stuff.
I sort of like the square layout, and I kind of love these tile floors. Are these going to go?
Yeah, I mean it's very chic. It was nicely done in 1953.
You're like, they're going to go.
They're going to go. They don't stay clean. I want something that's, can be tidied up. But I want it to reflect the age of the house, but not necessarily be, so modern, but just feel right.
Open cabinets.
Closed cabinets.
Closed cabinets.
Closed cabinets.
Yeah. We're going to try and be as old-fashioned as possible, but everything is going to be super modern underneath.
Don't miss another video visit. Click on the orange Q to subscribe and have Quintessence virtually delivered from our doorstep to yours.